I had such a great time watching this film, and I wanted to ask you because this is kind of a departure of what we usually see. There's a darker vibe to this film, which is really fun. So, what really attracted you to Cellar Door?
The darker vibe and and it being different from stuff I've done before. I feel like unfortunately in Hollywood, once if you play one character, people see you that way, and that's it. And you have to really like show them what else you can do. And so this was part of that evolution. And I also really related to her in many ways. I related to her single-mindedness. I related to her stubbornness, and I really wanted to dive into the relationship with John. So there were many aspects of the film that really I was attracted to.
Yeah, I'm glad you were looking for something different because you definitely pull it off, and it's fun to watch as a fan of yours. And
Thank you.
it's such a fun premise too. The cellar door that you can't open. You got a free house, but you can't open the cellar door. Do you think you could actually resist it in real life?
I don't think I could. I think maybe initially, um, but then I think once the novelty starts wearing out of the house and you get kind of used to it, you would then start digging. I think it's just human nature to start like, well, I don't know. What if it's something awful? And what if there's going to be, what if there's a catch? I think I would really have to look at some point.
And you get to work with a real legend in this film, Lawrence Fishburne, and he's only in this for a couple scenes, but he is so captivating. He just
He's so good.
demands the screen presence. How is it working with him? Because he's phenomenal.
I loved working with him. I love watching actors that are amazing because I just try to steal some of their tricks. Like Rita Moreno, when I worked with her, she just like told all these stories about working with, Jane Fonda, working with all these legends. And then with Lawrence, it was cool because he used certain exercises to get us going. Like during the scene where we're all supposed to be slightly tipsy and just bantering, he would just start laughing before we rolled. And then we all would start laughing, and it was just a way to break the ice. And it was really cool working with him.
And I love seeing how your relationship with Scott Speedman kind of develops as the film goes on. And you two captured this vibe really well, where, on the onset, they seem like a very loving married couple, but you can just tell that like their best days are behind them. How is it kind of building that relationship with Scott? Because you don't want like super bubbly screen chemistry, but you find that good middle ground there.
Thank you. I think sometimes we could get bubbly and giggly, like especially with like there was a scene where we're looking at each other and we're like this in bed, and Vaughn was like, "Fucking stop giggling! Like just stop! Like that is not the vibe right now." And I was like, "Okay, Vaughn, like chill." Um, but I think what was good is we portray like a it's like a shoe that's been worn, like it's like old shoe marriage, which not a lot of. I think it's hard to get that because you have to have a familiarity with each other, and you're kind of like tired with each other and kind of taking each other for granted. And so I was really happy to see that we portrayed that because I think I think that's partially why they're also seeking like, okay, let's have a baby. Okay, let's get a house. Okay, let's like they're just like grasping at what they can do to save their relationship.
And I don't want to get too into spoilers, but there's this really great twist as the movie goes on. And it really recontextualizes what was going on the whole time. When you read the script, what was kind of your reaction to that? Because it's really fun.
I mean, that's what made me want to do it. And I was like, oh yes, because that, that brought like that then tainted how I read the rest of the script. I mean, the beginning of the script, then to go back and go, oh, okay, like now with this in mind, let's see. So it made it really, really fun for me.
And it's crazy, but we're over 20 years since the first Fast and Furious. And you specifically had kind of a weird road. A lot of the people from the first one did because you weren't in two and then three was
Yeah.
totally different. When did you realize that this character was like really going to stick around and be a huge part of your career? Because it took quite a while for four to hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a gap between one and four when I came back. And when I came back, I was so excited and so happy. And it was just like this gift that then kept on giving because, now we're at like 10. But I recently watched one and four and five. And I was like, she had Mia had this like grittiness that in one that I it didn't come back till five. So I kind of feel like I shat the bed in four and I regret it. I wish I could like time travel and redo that one. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that it's such a big part of people's lives.
Yeah, and one has aged so well too.
It
When
really
I
has,
rewatch it, yeah.
but with the exception of the TVs, like they're not flat screens, there's like big boxy TVs. I was like, oh, my kids are like, what is that? I'm like, that's what we used to watch shows on.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal film, and I'm really excited you're getting back into horror with Hard Eyes next year. What can we kind of expect from that? Because I really liked you in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I feel like
Thank
horror's
you.
a good fit for you.
Well, I love Josh Rubin is awesome, and he's an actor as well, and so he's got this very funny, dark sensibility. And we just had so much fun on that movie. And I've seen it and it's really good. I'm really proud of it. I'm super excited for it to come out.
And my last question for you, you obviously did so much great work on soaps as well, and that's such an interesting background, and I see it for a lot of the hardest workers in Hollywood. What kind of like did those early experiences really teach you and prepare you for this later stage of your
Well,
career?
you're learning, you have like one day to prepare like 8 pages of dialogue. So you have to learn the dialogue and be like adhere to it. And then you have to get used to, cameras and hitting your mark. And so it teaches you a lot of the technical stuff. And also the stakes are low because it airs and then it's gone forever. And so it's really like a great playground for actors.